Backstage with Joy Leah. Today, for this segment, we are going to be talking a little bit to Miss Kayla about her wonderful app, Tomorrow. And like I said, we're going to be talking about all of her businesses and everything that she got going on. This girl is a busy woman. You can follow her on Instagram. We're going to get all that information from her because this girl right here got it going on. So, Miss Kayla, welcome to Backstage, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I haven't done an interview with another beautiful Black woman, so I'm like, okay, this is first.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you for taking the time out, girlfriend, because I know you are busy. So when I inboxed you, I was like, this girl got a lot going on. I really want to know about her app and know about her investments and everything that she's doing because you're looking like money over there. So, Miss Kayla, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow. Okay. I moved around a lot. I think I started recording at 17. I had a record deal within like 6 months. And then I knew I wanted to come to Atlanta. I'll just put it like that. That's where it started. And I went to Clark for a year. And I got immediately into music. I started modeling, and then that took me to music. I didn't know I was going to go into music, but I sung, and so it was just like, I knew I liked entertainment and creating and the productions that I saw on TV, right? Uh-huh. So that brought me to Atlanta, and going through the process of becoming a singer and a songwriter, going through 2 different recording deals, I learned so much. I was also a designer. I had started designing around the same time that I came to Clark, I would say, and I was designing and putting them in one store in Atlanta. It was called 477. It's on Flat Shoals, and my stuff sold out. And then my mom told me, she said, Kayla, you don't know how to sew, so you probably should stop. You know, even though it looks good, it's going to fall apart. And this was like 18. And she was like, and so that's when I first learned that I had to delegate certain things. I was not going to teach myself how to sew the standard way of sewing. Okay. And I was like, okay, I see the vision, but I'm not learning how to sew. And I started looking for production people and hired them and created a line, an online store. I started with t-shirts and leggings that were like wholesale, and then I went to having stuff cut and sew out in LA. I lived in LA at the time. And so that was going on at the same time that I was in music. I was back and forth. I went from my one deal to not having a deal and working as a writer, then to my next deal, and then not having that deal anymore, and then working as a writer. Okay. And through that back and forth, I was still designing and creating brands and stuff like that. And just me needing to create. And really what happened with how we got here to the Tomorrow app is I launched a line called the Leg Glove. And the Leg Glove is an alternative to a thigh high, knee high, and ankle boot in one product. And I knew that I was on the path that I wanted to create something useful. And I sold it exclusively at first online, and then I started wholesaling. But it was still kind of mom and pop, you know? And so I started considering investors. That path for me, when I went down that path, and they were like mostly interested in real estate, mostly interested in tech. Okay. And they weren't really interested in clothing. And gotcha. So I knew that I needed like $1 million to do the Leg Glove the way I needed to do it. Okay. Yeah. So my thing was like pivoting. Okay, well, I can't get someone to give me the $1 million. I don't want to keep putting, $5,000, $3,000, $10,000 into it and just, chugging along. How can I give my company $1 million? And so I said, I need to figure out how to make that $1 million. Wow. And the quickest way, the thing that came to mind is the kind of product, like a tech product. And it was also something that was gonna, in the future, allow me not to have to show up to work. I can do my work from wherever I am. And so, yeah, tech was like, okay. And then that probably took me, the thought came and it wasn't probably till like 2 or 3 years later where I was like, this is where I can fit in tech.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just Tomorrow app. And generally speaking, it's a mobile native, it's an application that connects creative freelancers in the music space to the projects that in music industry that need them most.
Okay.
And we started off a little bit more broader, but yeah, we're focusing on music. Me and my co-founder, Don Cannon, we are both long-time creatives ourselves in the music industry, outside of the music industry. And he has just so much experience. So we're like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to hyper focus on the music industry. This is where we live already, and then grow from there. Okay.
So with the app and how you're saying it's focused on the music industry, you know, where does your creativity come in with the actual app?
Oh, well, okay. So the idea of the app came from me. Like, I was talking to a friend of mine. She's a wardrobe stylist in Atlanta. Okay. And she works on set on film. So she'd work on pilots, and pilots lasted about 3 to 4 months, and then by the time that one was wrapped, she would book another one, you know? And so she had gone through a period of time where she was like, yeah, I haven't booked anything. So I just started having to DoorDash. And I was like, dang, okay, DoorDash is working for her, but it's not in her lane. Yeah. And so I'm like, there has to be something like that for creative talent like that, because from what I see, and I think everyone sees on Instagram, everyone's always like, need a photographer, need a makeup artist.
I'm in Chicago.
Tag this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, DoorDash, okay, quick instant booking for creatives, because that's where, and so that's where the Tomorrow app came. So that was a whole creativity moment for me. I'm like,
it's like a Uber for people in the industry, it sounds like, but not Uber meaning car driving. Uber. It's like I would say Instacart, Uber, DoorDash, all that put in one when it comes to the industry. If you need a makeup artist, if you need a hair designer, if you need this, you can go to this app in the city and discover who's out there that can help you, and it sounds like that has credibility as well behind their name, it seems. Instead of just somebody just finding anybody and then like, oh, my braids is fucked up. Like, you know, like, you know, they show those things and you show them a picture and it's not the same thing. No, I don't want to go to anybody. I want to go to a professional.
Exactly. We have ratings and reviews.
Okay.
That's a huge piece for you can, you know, tell